In the dynamic world of mining, success is built on resilience, innovation, and the power to overcome challenges. Today, we explore these qualities through the remarkable journey of the Managing Director of an engineering services company, a professional navigating the mining sector while living with a disability. Felix Lungu is the Managing Director of Yendelela, a leading provider of mechanical and electrical engineering services for the mining industry. Despite navigating the physical demands of the sector from a wheelchair, Felix has built a thriving enterprise through sheer determination and innovative thinking. His personal story of resilience is a testament to the power of adapting and overcoming challenges. Today, Felix will share invaluable insights on leadership, business, and redefining success as a professional living with a disability. Felix, welcome and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, and glad to be here now.
Sure. So just talk to us about your background. You are bringing and your journey right into entering the engineering space that you are in.
I was born from a single mother. Yeah. And raised by a grandmother. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we grew up like 6-7 grandkids. Yeah. In one small room. Yeah. And she managed to take us through to high school and up until I got to college. Mm. That's where I did my apprenticeship. Yeah, in Mpumalanga. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I think that's where it started. Yeah.
Sure. So along your journey, you got into an accident that ended up with you being in the wheelchair. Maybe just talk to us about where you were in your career at that time and what happened.
The time that the accident happened, I was working as a field service technician. Yeah. Because I'm a qualified millwright by trade, and it was on Workers' Day in 2011, on the 2nd of May. Sure. Yeah, that's when I had the accident.
Felix, maybe describe to us what exactly happened on the day when you got the accident.
I think on that day, I remember waking up in the hospital. Sure. That was in Rustenburg. Mm. Yeah, and I was facing up, and I could only see people's heads, on the side. Yeah. That were there to see me. Yeah. And only after 2 weeks, only then I was explained to what had really happened. Sure. Yeah. Because then my spine was compressed on C5 and C6. Sure. So which meant I lost most of my functions from my hands, legs, I think from my chest downwards there. So I lost movement. I've got touch, but I lost the temperature as well. And so we got up to that news, and didn't know what to make of it at the time. And as I started going by in rehab, now that's when I realized, this is what has really happened. Yeah. Yeah.
What did this do to you emotionally? And also considering that, you had formal employment, you've got commitments, you've got sports and all these sort of things that you loved to do. How did that do to you emotionally?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. As the head of a family, you're the one that's supposed to provide and all that. Yeah. And the question comes in, what's going to happen? Sure. What am I going to do? Sure. That was a question. Before I was medically boarded, I didn't even know that there was an insurance set up for such. Sure. So, and looking at the work that I used to do, it's physical work. I need to be physical there with my hands and all that. So there was a lot I was going through at that time, and I didn't really know exactly how things are gonna turn out and all that. that's what was happening during that moment. So even when I go to rehab, I was trying to push and fix myself there.
Yeah.
But that's not how it was going to happen. Sure. Yeah.
After the period where you did your therapy and your physios, there's a time where you decided to go back into the market. How did that decision to go back come about, and how did you find it? Maybe even describe the first day back at work, however way it looked like for you.
Yeah. So it wasn't just like that.
Yeah.
You say you come back from rehab, and then the next thing you are at a workplace. And all that, because so that happened 2011. 2011, and from 2011 I could say I only say I got back to work. So that was like 2014.
Sure.
That's when we opened the business.
Yeah.
And then even the business, we were working from the garage.
Yeah. Ooh.
So it was like that. But then the process from here to there, because then 2011 and that first year was like rehab. First in the rehab center and then at the house there now.
Yeah.
That's when I was now getting to learn what I'm able to do.
Sure.
Getting, in the rehab, they would tell you to say you can fall in a wheelchair, but then now you go and fall outside there now. Yes. And then what is the reaction? How do you feel? Now there's people looking at you and all that. So now things like get real.
Sure.
So at 2012, I joined a disability forum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we also had an organization that was pushing disability awareness and all that. So when I go to that as well, now I also go to meet people with disabilities.
Yeah.
And then some of the guys were worse off than I was.
Sure.
And I was like, and I'm feeling sorry for myself, because with me, I was almost a full quadriplegic.
Yeah.
But because the spine was only compressed, so I didn't lose like almost everything.
Yeah.
So had it have been cut like complete, and so you would find maybe I only have function
just
of my head. Sure. So you would find guys that are only able to use their head. Yeah. He's able to type on the laptop or computer with a stick in his mouth, and sure. He's typing. Oh, he's got something put here because he can't use his fingers, and and he's able to type like that.
Yeah.
So being in that environment also showed to say that if these other people are able to do it, I can also. I think that also helped.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So just a reflection before that accident happened. How was work like? You spent some time in the field doing engineering. How was work like at that time?
Well, it's very demanding.
Yeah.
You look at this engineering sector, because I was responding to calls. Let's say if one of the mines they have a breakdown.
Yeah.
And I was the guy to go to, so I would go and attend to the breakdown. So if they're having any technical problems, electrical or mechanical, and then I would go there and try and get back the machines into production as soon as possible. Yeah.
Sure. So after the accident happened, of course, you had to stop work, and then you started a business. Just talk to us between when that happened and how the business journey then started.
All right. Yeah. In terms of business, I've always tried to sell things here and there.
Yeah. So it is like that.
There's still people that owe me money even up to now. But from the accident, because I stayed into rehab for like 4 to 6 months or so.
Sure.
Yeah, and then after that, I had to go back to do like home rehabilitation of some sort. And then during that period, the thinking was happening, and that's when the company medically boarded me. And now during that period, the thinking started coming in to see what am I going to be doing, or what am I going to do. So I started putting in applications and all that. And yeah, that was quite frustrating because nothing really was coming back. And because before I would be the one getting calls to say, hey, we want you to come and work for us and all that. So during that period, that wasn't happening.
Sure.
So yeah, that's when the idea of starting a business came in. Yeah.
Let's talk about the business itself. You started Yendelela Mining Engineering Services.
Yeah.
Just talk to us about what that business is about and what you do on a day-to-day in providing engineering services to the mines.
All right. Yeah. So when we started the business, we came across this guy. I think he was taking an hydraulic pump for repairs to Joburg.
Yeah.
And by then we were in Mpumalanga. And when we saw that, but why are you taking that pump to Joburg? It says because there is no place here where I can do repairs.
Sure.
So that was something that sat in the back of my head. When we started Yendelela, now it started as a construction business.
Yeah.
And then that thought came back, and spoke to my wife. They say, Mana, there is this space in here where now they're taking these pumps for repairs. Why don't we bring the service closer and all that?
Sure.
So we sat together, put in some money that we had, and that's how we bought a testing bench. And that's when we began with Yendelela.
What other services are you providing to the mines? Because I know it's quite broad engineering services that you provide. What is your focus, and what services are you giving to the mining sector?
All right. So in terms of the services, because we have broadened our services.
Sure.
So we've got trackless mining.
Yeah.
And then we've got your fabrication. Yeah, we've got your electrical, and then we've also got your pumps services as well. So with the trackless mining, we do rebuilds, we do repairs, we do maintenance, and we do supply spares as well. And then with the fabrication, we do design, we do breakdowns, and we do shutdowns as well when it comes to that. And then with the pumps, we overhaul pumps, we supply new ones. And we also supply spares on them as well. Yeah.
Sure. Felix, your company works around the clock, and which means you work around the clock. How do you maintain excellence and consistency and just the high level of delivering the performance that you continue to in the industry? How do you do all of that?
It is challenging sometimes, but then we have to perform at the highest of levels.
Sure.
Because we are trying to take away the burden from our clients.
Absolutely.
So we are the ones that have to do all the extra work that needs to be done, and because we're an ISO certified company.
Absolutely.
So through continuous improvement, I think we have been able to learn from our mistakes and always push the standard. Yeah.
Felix, your journey is quite unique. How has your personal experience, just influenced your approach to doing business and leadership in this engineering space?
Well, I was one person that likes to do things mostly by myself.
Yeah.
And I know I would get it the way I want it to be done.
Sure.
Yeah. So now, in the first place, now where you start relying on people to do things, and then trusting that they're gonna do what needs to be done. I think that has been one of the things that I've seen, where you now let go and then let other people take charge. Yeah.
And I'm sure you do a lot of mentoring and coaching work, because I mean you are the technical expert.
Yes.
How has that experience or your technical expertise helped you to get your business to function at the level that it is?
Yeah, when the business started, because we couldn't have money to hire people and all that. So I would work with the guys on the ground, where now I would tell them, all right, guys, this is how we dismantle a cylinder, or this is how we do this. So it will be a step by step.
Sure.
And as time went by, we started getting more jobs. And by then we even got the ability now to employ more people as well. Yeah.
You had fair to say, odds against you. But I mean, Felix, you're working with really big companies, reputable companies. How did you not let what happened to you, which is the accident leading to you being in a wheelchair, stop you from reaching your goals? I mean, that is extremely inspiring.
Yeah, thanks for that then. I think to all that, I would give it to the support that I got from my family, friends.
Yeah.
I think they played a really big part. And then to my coach as well, when I was doing therapy and all that, the guys that were just putting me back to say, no, this is not the end of life and all that. And there's also just this thing inside that just, it's like, now we'll keep pushing and things will be good. I think that's, I can't really pinpoint, but I think there's a lot of factors that are attributed to that.
I mean, Felix, business is quite challenging. I mean, all entrepreneurs almost have the similar story. What challenges are you facing in the industry with the services that you are supplying or the work that you get to do? What challenges are they?
Challenges. Every business has challenges. And I think some of the main challenges that, you know, we always want more work.
Yes.
If you're not getting that, then that's not really good. And then we've got the cash flow problems, and then we've got your funding problems, where to source finances and all that. Those are some of the huge problems that we get. And then the other thing as well, it's in terms of finding the skills that you want for a certain price as well. That is also one of the problems, because we've had a shortage of skills in terms of your artisans, your technicians, and how you the good ones, the experienced ones. It's also been one of the problems as well.
What would you then describe as a barrier to entry into the engineering services space that you've actually experienced and, I mean, eventually overcome? What are those barriers that, I mean, you get to experience, or any other person in that space?
So I think when it comes to that, I think the starting point of it is one of the main problems, because you are expected to have a workshop or facility that will allow you to perform those services. So it's the capital is quite intensive when it comes to that. But then there are other engineering areas, like providing labor and all that, which are not that much of capital intensive, I would say. But from where we started off and the route that we were going, we sat down. We even did a business plan to say in 6 months business will be thriving. After 3 months there, we couldn't even pay electricity now, because it wasn't going according to plan. But eventually we pulled through.
Can you share a specific incident or moment that has happened along your career that has made you feel like almost giving up and just letting the whole business thing go?
Well, there's moments every now and then, especially when you feel like you're not achieving what you want or where you want to go to. But I think those are weighed down by what we want to. They are lesser by what we want to achieve. I think what we want to achieve is more powerful than those. So I don't really look at them like that. I feel like it's just a learning point when stuff happens like that. Yeah.
Some companies do not necessarily have environments that accommodate people who are living with disability. I mean, it could be somebody like yourself who's in a wheelchair, or somebody who's blind or whatever. How do you navigate those environments where, for example, I mean, the setup itself, you get to a company, it's just a staircase. You know, there's no ramps and these sort of challenges. How do you navigate around that?
Yeah, a lot of places I would say are not very accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of things that pulls you back. Like for a person that's living with disability, it's one of the things that can be very frustrating.
Yeah.
And even though there are programs in these different companies and all that, but you find more often as I visit these places, find that it's not all the places are conducive.
Oh, yeah.
So which brings to the point that most of these companies who are run by people with disabilities, we are not really the word is what, inclusive. It's not that inclusive,
Sure.
if I would put it.
Sure.
Yeah, because sometimes people are just even surprised when I'm going there. They'll be thinking maybe I'm just going to ask for donations or something.
Sure.
Which is some of the other stereotype that we also need to get out, and that we also still can be able to contribute positively in the economy. But I think certain programs within the mines and the governments, I think they need to be looked up into more.
Yeah.
You know, so at least they can be able to accommodate people like us.
Talking about that, Felix, how do you then challenge stereotypes about disability in the professional world? Because, I mean, like you said, you walk up to having a meeting and somebody is already thinking, how much does he want? Do I have 50 rand? I don't have it. How do you challenge stereotypes around that?
Well, I think a lot of people need more awareness when it comes to people living with disabilities.
Absolutely,
yeah. And usually in the workplace, they're going more about their business and all that. So only when somebody has a disability now they're able to look at the environment and all that. But if these programs that are put in place, I think those things can be able to be curbed, if I would say. Yeah.
Do you think there's contracts or business that was withheld from you for that very reason?
No. On this one, I can't really say. Maybe indirectly.
Sure.
Maybe indirectly, because then maybe if I was supposed to maybe go and do a pitch or something like that, because now the place is not accessible, they would rather maybe I ask somebody to go and do it
on your behalf,
and that could be one way. But not really directly. But there's certain things that I would like just to go there and make sure I'm the one who does it, you know.
Yeah. How has your family, and that is your children and your wife, helped you through this journey?
They've been very, very supportive. My wife has been, it's like she put her life on hold for us, and she's been very, very supportive. And then my kids are like the fuel as well. Hence now we don't even want to give up. We just want to keep pushing. But they've been very supportive, I think.
And there's also businesses and companies that have also just received you and also want your services because they are good. I think, what's your reflection around those people who want to do business with you because you can deliver?
Yes. I appreciate to people that gave us the chance. Even when we didn't have the experience. And people gave us the chance. And it started from there. Then now, by constantly showing what we're capable of doing, our name grew, and then people gained confidence into what we are able to do. And yeah, I appreciate those people who are able to give other people the first chance.
What advice would you give to other entrepreneurs, particularly those ones who are living with disability, about not being hesitant in entering businesses that are technical, like the engineering services in the mining industry?
On that one, business on its own, whether you're able-bodied or living with a disability, business is challenging.
Yes.
So with the people living with disabilities, it's not going to treat them any less. To say now because you have a disability, it will give you a fair pass. No. So when they go into business, they must make sure, they must be willing to fight, and they must be willing to be persistent and then go through with that.
And for anybody in business, when the going gets tough, there's a toll on your mental health. How do you deal with that, and how do you feel yourself to keep going and continue to push and deliver?
Not so sure if I've even figured it out already, but it's when it gets tough, I think sometimes what I've found out to do, I try to pull back a little bit. Just try and pull back a little bit, and then just try and close off. It will be maybe a weekend just without work or something like that, so that you can just try and refocus. But that's what has been something that I have been able to do. And I would speak to friends as well, and people in different disciplines, and you find how people have different perspectives on how to handle certain situations, because you might look at something as if it's very big, but when you speak to somebody and they're like, no man, this is what we do and all that, and you find out, oh, it was like that. I think at one time we couldn't borrow money from any of our friends, because we were mostly funding ourselves and all that. Then by that time now, most of our funds are almost gone, and then we've got this order that we need to deliver and all that. Now I'm thinking, hey man, this is a big chance. Spoke to somebody, and then this guy just mentioned, but guys, have you considered an overdraft with a bank? And I was like, is there something like that? Went to the bank, and the bank gave us an overdraft, and then we moved from there. So certain things you would want to, they would look so big, but try and speak out, have somebody that you can speak out, speak to other professionals, and we don't know everything, and we constantly keep learning. So that is another trait that we also need to embrace as well.
For any business, Felix, human resource becomes a very important aspect to the success of the business. How do you make sure that you've got the right people in space, the right people in the right position to ensure that your business thrives? Also considering the fact that you may not be able to do other things that you want done in your business. How do you pull those levers?
Well, that's another big one. That's another big one, and we've been learning through it. We would bring in people, sometimes the CV would look good, and people would speak so nice, and you would be so happy to say, I've got somebody that would be able to do it. But when it comes to the work, and you find now that it's a problem, the person is not able to deliver as they promised. So now where it has come in now, and we have tried to put in systems that will be able to help the company itself, just to try and isolate anyone that's not going to meet with the culture of the business. So there's some people who come in with potential and all that, and then we try and groom them to the level that we want, and other people that we're just not getting what we want from them, then we've had to part ways and it's not always good.
Yeah.
But it has been necessary, and then for the growth of the business as well. Yeah.
Sure. For any mining leader listening to this conversation, what would your message be regarding creating an inclusive environment? Because that is where some of the best ideas come from anybody who's equipped. But if the environment is not the best or conducive or inclusive, they become an exclusion, which is then not even good for their business. Yes. What would you say to them?
There's a huge part, especially speaking for people with disabilities.
Yeah.
Because they're not included in the economy. Then looking at the rates of employment and all that, and it's also very difficult for them to get employment. Sure. We can be really able to play a very big part in the economy. And what it takes is for somebody to make sure their space has got a ramp.
Yeah.
Make sure their space is accessible. Make sure their space has got somebody that can be able to do sign language. Just make sure that they have these programs that can allow that. And it starts from an idea.
Yeah.
It starts from an idea, and people are able to do wonderful things. Yeah.
Mentorship plays a big role in the success of business and people's personal lives. Do you have people who you mentor? Given that, I mean, you've walked the journey, and people are still trying to find their feet and get out of that setback, because that is a setback that some people don't even come out of. How do you position yourself to mentor, support, and just coach people who are going through the moments where they feel like giving up on life altogether?
Yeah. I think on that one, I would say I'm doing it in business.
Yeah.
And just on the personal side as well,
Sure.
where I've had to go in to speak with people, especially guys like they were just involved in an accident and all that.
Yeah.
And you would just go to say, you know what, you speak to them and then just try and show them Ukuti, this is not the end. This is not the end. There's more to life,
Sure.
And with businesses as well, I try my part. We do try now. We try and bring in other small businesses that are coming in, and just try and show them, give them work, and then just try and guide them on how they can be able to do things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Reflecting on your journey and some of your achievements, what are you most proud of?
Yeah, that is a deep question.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at that.
Sure.
And I can mention a lot.
Yeah.
I can mention a lot, looking at like where I've come from, or the type of family I came from.
Yeah.
Being a father. Having a nice and lovely family.
Ooh.
And then just having to know the impact of our business.
Yeah.
Because it goes a long way. At some point we were employing almost about 70 families.
Sure.
Direct, so that impact to say we are able to do this.
Yeah.
That is something that is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For someone, Felix, sitting in the hospital and they've just gotten the shock in their lives, or somebody who has gone through a very major setback, whether an accident or they can no longer do what they know they used to do, and they're feeling extremely hopeless, or retrenchment, or a bank application for business that is just not being approved, or feeling stagnated or overlooked for a promotion for the longest of time, what would you say to those people?
Whoa. It's not an easy place.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but life doesn't end there. And I think the grieving part should take place. I think people handle situations differently,
yeah.
but the grieving should take place.
Yeah, oh sure.
And if there's any professional help around, that they could get like therapy and all that. That would be one added thing. And friends.
Yeah.
Family, it's very important.
Sure.
And then the people surrounding you as well, they provide that nest to help you get out of that.
Yeah.
And so the time will tell there.
Yeah.
But then you have to go through that process and then now start learning your new life. It's not the end of life now. It's a new beginning. I think there's a saying, Ukoti, if it's been given to you by God, no one will take it away from you. And I think people must, sometimes we force things when it's not even the right time. And we want it then, but maybe it's not your time. Maybe you're not equipped enough. Maybe you haven't prepared enough. And we tend not to look at that. So those are some of the areas that we can be able to look at. And especially when moments like this happen, I think we just need to try and sit and say, okay, what could I have done, or what can I learn from this? And then how am I going to take this going forward? And that's some of the approach I use. Not to say that I won't be feeling sad or not. The feelings will still deal with you, but you still have to face life. Tomorrow is going to come. The sun will go in, it will come out. Whether you got the promotion or not, it carries on. So what do we do from there?
Look, Felix, thank you so much for sharing your inspiring journey. And I mean, we wish you the best as you continue to offer the best services to the mining industry. And thanks for that contribution.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me now.
Sure. Felix's story is not just about overcoming challenges, but about redefining what's possible. I hope this episode has reminded you that excellence in business transcends all barriers. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye and God bless.